How's it going, everyone? Shifty here, and I'm back with another Destiny 2 video. I've been making great progress in my PvP exotic review series, and I'm nearly done working my way through the exotic primaries. I've reviewed the exotic pulse, auto, and scout rifles so far, along with the majority of the hand cannons. All I've got left for the hand cannons is Sturm and the last word, and with today's video I'll be able to check the Sturm off that list. Before I continue with my Sturm review, I want to thank everyone for their support lately. Let's keep it going, and if you end up enjoying the video or finding it useful, make sure to like and subscribe. Only about 10% of my viewers are subs, so I'd love to see that change. Also, head on over to Twitter and follow me there. The link will be in the description down below. Alright, I've got to be honest, I was dreading reviewing the Sturm, and there was no chance that I was going to head into the Crucible without pairing it with the Drang. Since Sturm is a 110 RPM hand cannon, I didn't have high hopes for my review session. However, I was extremely surprised. That isn't hyperbole, I legitimately had a good time using this weapon, and I think there are some overlooked benefits to using the Sturm, and maybe even 110s in general. First things first though, we need to go over the perks. It has extended barrel, which boosts range but lowers handling. Then it has extended mag, which increases the mag size but reduces the reload speed. The first unique perk is Storm and Stress. Kills with the Drang reload this weapon and overflow a bonus damage round into the magazine. The last normal perk is Combat Grip, which improves the recoil direction. Then the main exotic perk is Accomplice. Kills with this weapon fill the magazine of the equipped energy weapon from reserves. Alright, so it's hard to determine the usefulness of Storm and Stress without knowing what sort of damage increase we are looking at. Also, if you aren't using Drang, you completely nullify the better of the two exotic perks. This is why I recommend always using Drang with this weapon, and if you don't have a Drang, then you can farm it via the Menagerie. Let's dive into the numbers for Sturm. Without any extra damage rounds, Sturm has a damage profile of 91 per crit and 50 to the body. This gives it an optimal time to kill of 1.07 seconds with 2 crit and 1 body, and an all body shot time to kill of 1.6 seconds with 4 body shots. You can kill all guardians within the ideal range with just 2 crits and 1 body, but if a guardian has 5 resilience or less, you can kill them in 1.07 seconds with just 1 crit and 2 body instead. And in my experience, people often have less than 5 resilience. People spec into recovery, mobility, discipline, and intellect instead of resilience. Now let's take a look at what happens if you have the extra damage bullets from Drang kills. The damage profile with the extra damage bullets becomes 164 per crit and 80 to the body. When this is the case, Sturm has an optimal time to kill of 0.53 seconds with 1 crit and 1 body, and an all body shot time to kill of 1.07 seconds with 3 body shots. Those are honestly some impressive numbers. Of course, it requires you to have more than 1 extra damage bullet loaded to get the new body shot time to kill, but to reach the new optimal time to kill, all you need is 1 crit at 164 damage and 1 body shot at 50 damage. On initial look, the base Sturm is quite bad, but with the buffed round, Sturm is really good, which means if you're not using Drang, you're crippling the Sturm's potential a lot. Let's continue our examination by looking at the stats. Sturm has a base range stat of 64, which is slightly above average. It has the worst stability of the exotic hand cannons at 37. The reload speed is decent at 55. The handling is a bit low at 46. The aim assist is quite bad at 50. The recoil direction is 80, which is on the lower side but still pretty good. And the base magazine size is 9, which is low, but keep in mind extended mag does increase that to 12, and you can overload the magazine with Drang kills. In all honesty, the stats aren't anything amazing. The base Sturm is poor, the stats are fairly average, and you need Drang kills to turn it into a beast. But despite that, I had a lot of success using it even without the extra damage rounds. In order to determine why that is, I want to go over what I liked about this weapon, and there's actually quite a bit I do like about it. First of all, the range stat after perks are applied is pretty decent, and I don't even have the catalyst finish, which would make it even better. Given its high damage numbers, even with damage drop off, you are still hitting your opponents quite hard, and I really like that. I also like how forgiving it is. Yes, it has a slow time to kill, but it requires 2 crit and 1 body for all guardians, and 1 crit and 2 body on the majority of guardians. That's about as forgiving as you can get. You may think that with 50 aim assist, that landing crits would be problematic, but I honestly didn't find it to be a problem at all. Now, we all know that Drang turns Sturm into a beast, but I think there's some things about Sturm that are a bit overlooked. For example, if an enemy is rushing you and you hit 1 crit with Sturm and swap to the Drang, you can finish them off very quickly, as sidearms are really good up close. To that end, it's not too difficult to get those extra damage bullets in Sturm because Drang has a 0.6 second optimal time to kill and a 1 second body shot time to kill. There is even more I enjoy about the Sturm. If you find yourself in a gunfight where you and your opponent are peek shooting, you are at an advantage because peek shooting essentially nullifies the rate of fire, especially in a hand cannon versus hand cannon fight. A dire promise versus Sturm in a peek shooting fight would theoretically be able to kill in the same amount of time if the Sturm user is the one controlling the peeks. But the Sturm user doesn't need to hit 3 crits while the dire promise user does. Peek shooting applies to more than just those engagements, and if you learn to use it, Sturm is one of the biggest beneficiaries from that sort of playstyle. Additionally, the slower rate of fire forces you to control your shots a bit more than other weapons as you can't just quickly spam shots off. Also, one more thing, Sturm's 91 crits make it extremely easy to clean up kills. When you're taking nearly half an opponent's health with one single crit, it's nearly impossible for opponents to escape if they just ended an engagement with a different teammate. Alright, finally onto the things that I don't like about Sturm. The weapon feels very sluggish. The aiming and reload speed make the weapon feel heavy in the user's hands, which isn't ideal for hand cannons in PvP, but it makes sense for the weapon's design. I also dislike the fact that I need to use Drang in order to utilize Sturm to its fullest potential. Without it, I guarantee Sturm wouldn't be nearly as fun to use. With that said, I want to bring up the fact that Drang is being sunset, and I really hope Bungie offers a replacement in Beyond Light because Sturm will suffer without it. I know you can still use it in non-light level PvP modes, but in anything else it will be effectively useless. That's really all I dislike about the weapon. Overall, this weapon has amazing potential in 6v6 game modes where you can get kills with Drang and easily get buffed bullets, and also there are enough people where you'll be cleaning up enemies all match long. I had more fun using Sturm and Drang than I did with Crimson, Malfeasance, and Lumina. I would recommend you give this combo a try and see how you like it. I wouldn't really take it into competitive or trials because it's going to be more difficult to get those Drang kills and actually utilize the rounds. Meanwhile, you'll be restricting yourself from using a shotgun or a sniper, which are important in those modes. Either way, Bungie, I understand exactly what the power fantasy is supposed to be with this duo, and when it's used right, it's a lot of fun. I really hope you stick around to watch some 2-taps, kill stealing, and more in the highlights from my session using Sturm.
Fire team. You made that look easy. Want more? That shut them down. Zone C lost. You gained the lead. 2 for 1. 3 opponents down. Zone advantage is yours. can turn this tide. This is wonderful. 2 for 1. By a team that fights together, stays together. Only 5 minutes left. 2 for 1. Your
Anyway, that's it for my review of the Sturm and to a lesser extent the Drang. If you found this video useful or enjoyable, make sure to like and subscribe. I just want to thank you all for watching and I'll catch you on the next one.